The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors. Lighting for ECAT production provided by the Avery Lee Williams Family Foundation.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harris and Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harris and Young. 2 days before Christmas. What a season we're having, and what a show I have tonight. I have three great guests. One's a returning guest. That's Scott the Great, the magician from a few years ago, and a couple of film people, actors and producers, and we're going to talk to them, two by Zoom, and he's here with me. But of course, before we get to them, we got to read these. I have to read these incredible underwriters. Happy to do it, and then we'll commence per usual. So we have the Boston Auto Group in North Easton. We have Grip It and Rip It, sports trading cards and video games in West Bridgewater. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton, one number for towing, one number for projects. Now moved to 26 Knapp Drive there. My pal Lynchy there is always in search of new scrap metal, wheels, anything to do with transportation. He handles it all. We have Hartley's Jamaican Restaurant in downtown Brockton on the north side, delicious Jamaican cuisine, and they're opening up a new restaurant in Randolph, in Brockton, from Brockton to Randolph, and continuing to work in Brockton and the start of 2026. We have the Vittoria Connoisseria Brazilian Meat Market in Taunton. We have Shawn Auto Body and Repair in Lakeville. We have Brian's Barbershop in Kingston. We have the Wareham House of Pizza in Wareham. We have Rose Jewels in Kingston, rocking the South Shore and custom design for 29 years. And they're also selling their awesome jewelry on layaway for the holidays. We have the Riverside Cafe in Wareham, open 6 days a week, all except Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. They make the best breakfast in Boston and the Cape, and they have DoorDash delivery. We have Bay Street Vape and Smoke in Taunton. We have Diesel Plus Unlimited in Whitman. We have the Alter Ego Salon and Spa in Berkeley. We have New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We have One Good Credit in Brockton. We have On the Bar Dance Studio in Norton, starting students as young as 18 months looking for the next Baryshnikov in Norton. We have Rafferty's Pub in Marshfield, one of the best watering holes in the neighborhood, delicious pizza, bar pizza. In Marshfield, we have the Nemasket Olive Oil Company in Middleborough. They make and sell the freshest olive oil in the world. We have Hairway to Heaven Family Hair Salon in Norwell. We have the Hammer and Stain Dive Crafting Workshops in Southeastern. Great to have them back under new ownership. We have the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have Dirty Paws Pet Grooming in Southeastern. We have Curtis Car Care in Middleborough. We have the Connect, great sporting good apparel in Brockton. We have Mooberry Frozen Yogurt in Raynham. We have the Mansfield Boxing Club in Norton. We have Doggy Boutique, all-breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next-door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Evan Young Realty, that's Evan, my brother, the realtor. We have Haven Psychiatric Services right here in the building in room 211. We have DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington on Route 58, and we have Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now Scott, Shawn, and Bob, how you guys doing? Great to have you on my show tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, doing great.
Good,
Okay.
but all of those folks supporting you makes me hungry.
Oh, well, come on over. We'll have a meal. So, all right, let's establish the locations first. You, Bob, are in Virginia. You're in Virginia Beach, and right?
I'm actually close. I'm actually in York County, but it's very close to Virginia Beach.
Okay, and Shawn is in the Pac Northwest in Oregon, right? Mount Salem.
Yep, out Bend, Oregon, that's for sure.
Okay, and of course we're all right. So now we know we're in. Of course, Scott and I are here in northeastern Massachusetts, and we're basically covering the ripple effect around the country. Now, Scott was a guest on my show on October 10th of 2018 at one of my last locations. He did his big card tricks. He's a great magician. But since then, he's taken up with you guys as in the film industry as writer, creator, producer, and actor. So. I know a little about Scott because I interviewed him before, but since you guys are new, I'm going to start with you, Bob. I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me your history, how you got into acting, and including how you got hooked up with Scott. But tell me about your other projects too. And if I have any questions pertaining to the above, I'll throw them in, and then we'll go to Shawn, and then and any of you guys want to interject during the conversation, feel free. So let's start with you, Bob.
All right. Well, I was born on a farm in the Ozarks and always wanted to be in the movies, but I had a hard time figuring out how to get from the farm into the movies. So it was a lot of starts and stops over the years. I actually made my national TV debut in 1970 as Bachelor #2 on The Dating Game.
Sweet.
And
I got to ask you right now. Did you meet your wife?
no, but I did win the date.
You did what?
He did.
I won the date.
You won the date. Oh,
picked
okay.
me.
I don't want you to go too far. You know, it was 55 years ago, unless you want to discuss that. But that's fantastic. I used to watch that back then.
Well,
Scott
but
wasn't even born then.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
Finally, after several years, and I was a school teacher also. I was in the Army for about 22 years. Into my military career, I knew, though, that I wanted to pick up the acting career, so I got an agent before I retired from the military, started booking jobs, became a member of SAG, and worked in all kinds of media, from training films, student films, lots of extra work, and eventually a lot of principal work. I got acquainted with these guys with a movie called The Reconciler, and it was my good fortune to be cast in that film. Yes.
He's holding it up. He has the DVD, the CD, the DVD right up here, and he's holding it up to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, but I don't think I'm on the cover. I don't know what
No,
happened.
sadly you aren't.
But anyway, it was
okay, you believe you're in it. I accept it. Go on.
it was good that we met.
Yeah.
We stayed in touch over the years, and Scott actually had some other projects that involved God as a character, which actually didn't work out, but that caused him to come up with the new concept of Lucifer and the Father. And so we filmed that a few years ago. And then just this last fall, we made the follow-up, Lucifer and the Father, Joseph and the Doctor. So it's been a very, very good experience for me, and a bit intimidating to be asked to play God.
Wow. Okay. That's fantastic. In fact, I'm going to watch the trailers of those two films. And by the way, I watched Lucifer and the Father the other day, and it was fantastic, the entire film. Like I was telling Scott, when I die, I hope it's you that I meet on the other side. You seem like a very benevolent guy.
Well, that will be good news for both of us.
It sure would. All right, Shawn, I want to talk to you now. Tell me about how you got involved and what's your history and got involved in.
Yeah. My dad was kind of an amateur filmmaker. I ended up with my twin brother going to performing arts high school.
Okay.
In the Portland area, and started my own production company at 19 years old. Did a lot of corporate video, but always had the vision and the ideas to do actual films myself. So I started writing in the mid 90s, shot my first film called Going the Distance in 1999, and kept writing and ended up eventually shooting my second film in 2014 with Scott.
Hold up, Shawn, I got a question. I like the title, Going the Distance. Can you give a little synopsis without giving too much away? I haven't seen the film, but it sounds something I'd like to know a little more about before you tell me.
Yeah, it was. I always loved the ABC After School specials, if you remember those back in the day.
Yep.
And I wanted to do one, so I created a feature film script that dealt with young guys in a band and the choices that they make, and the rewards and the consequences of decisions that were lifelong that you would make at any point in your teens. So. It's a fun movie. It has music and dances and girls and guys.
All right.
It's just a fun film, but it has a really good, I don't know, lesson, but just kind of, when you play things out with drama, you find out that maybe the decisions that you make that you think are good or not, and vice versa. So it kind of helps guide teens through their teen years to make the best decisions that they can for the rest of their lives that affect it.
Okay. Okay. You wanted to talk about some more films, and I want to talk to Scott because he was the one who I booked, and of course he was the original guest, and I want to be incorporated into the discussion too. But it's up to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I met Scott about 2008, if I remember right.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we talked about doing some projects. Eventually, I had a son pass away in 2012 due to an accident.
Yeah.
And with some of the funds that came out from that, from the insurance money, I started making films again. And I asked Scott, I said, hey, you have this one idea for this play you did called The Reconciler. I think that might be a really good, start to films and doing more films. And so I did that. I did Out of the Darkness. I had Graham Greene in it, which is great. And rest his soul, he just passed away. And then after that, I did Murder of Innocence, which I actually also had Scott in as a deputy cop, I think. So, but then when COVID came around and we started talking about doing it, and Scott was like, I really want to do something else. And that's kind of how Lucifer and the Father came about. We started talking about that and scripted it and a short. I've never done a short film before that, actually. All my other films were feature length. Yep. Yep.
Have you ever worked in LA? I'm wondering, because you're based in Oregon. I'm just wondering if you've ever done anything in Hollywood, but if not, that's fine.
No, just a little indie film producer in the Pacific Northwest. I thought about going to LA, but I was just like, I just don't, it didn't, you gotta want to go, right?
Yeah, okay. All right, now Scott, now you were on my show on October 10th of 2018 in Bridgewater. That was one of my last locations. Now, I didn't realize at that time how involved you were with this kind of thing, but what have you done since then?
At the time, I don't really think I was yet. It was kind of an aspiration, but it's, I had been wanting to do movies ever since I was younger. Yep. But just for the record, I became the Great Scott. Everybody says Scott the Great like you did. I don't know what it is. It's not Scott the Great. It's the Great Scott.
The Great Scott. Okay.
Because it's like the expression Great Scott.
I know.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, so for whatever reason, I have a head you just can't shut off. And one of the ways that I was doing it as an outlet was writing skits and like 40 to 60-minute plays for my church, Southway Church of the Nazarene.
Okay.
And Lucifer and the Father was originally a skit that I had written but never performed called The Cup of Coffee, which was inspired by...
So you wrote it?
I wrote the original skit.
Okay.
And it was basically, I'm a big movie buff, and I've seen the whole hero and villain sit down and have a verbal battle rather than a physical, whether it be Pacino and De Niro in Heat, or Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty, or Professor X and Magneto and X-Men. The whole hero and villain sit down at a table and have a battle of wits rather than fight. Yeah. I've always found interesting. So I just said, why has no one ever done this with God and the devil? So I wrote this skit called, it's basically, what if God said to Satan, what do you say, I buy you a cup of coffee and we talk about mankind? Okay. But we never did it. So fast forward to all the stuff that Bob and Shawn kind of covered, doing The Reconciler and stuff like that. We were on the verge of trying to do a Kickstarter because we had a lot of false starts, as Shawn said, just before COVID hit. And then once COVID hit, we were like, we can't do a Kickstarter for a feature-length film in the middle of a pandemic. No one's going to give us anything.
Exactly.
So, but it was the one good thing that came out, the one little drop of lemonade that came out of that big sour lemon that was COVID for me. It made me stop asking, what do I want to make, and start asking, what can we make? Okay. And Bob had been saying that he wanted to, Bob and I don't share any screen time in The Reconciler, but we did stay in touch. Okay. And we'd always said that we wanted to work together as actors, and I'll work with Shawn anytime. I got 5 movie credits, and Shawn directed me in 4 of them. Sweet. So so Shawn and I like working together. We like writing together. So I dusted off that cup of coffee skit, and I got Bob and Shawn on Zoom, kind of like they are right now, and I said, what do you think, rather than doing a crowdfund for a huge movie, why don't we do a crowdfund for a short film that can stay within the parameters being set by COVID, and we just get together at your cabin in Oregon, Shawn, and shoot this for a few days. Okay. And that's how the first one came about. Okay. And we honestly didn't know what it was going to be when we first shot it. We thought it might be like a pitch thing to give to like VidAngel Studios that was doing The Chosen to do maybe a movie. But after the success of the series The Chosen, we thought maybe this would make a better series, and we decided, hey, let's make the second episode ourselves to see if there's anything there, which unfortunately took a few more years than we anticipated. But,
well, so they always take a few more years than anticipated.
Yeah, that's true.
And on that note, we're going to watch the trailers of those 2 films, Lucifer and the Father, and Lucifer and the Father, Joseph and the Doctor. So we'll be right back, and we'll discuss them. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Lucifer.
I am.
I thought it was time we had another conversation.
Want to hear about how lost and stubborn your precious creation has become?
You have tried over and over again to muddy those waters, to cloud their understanding of my perfect love.
My goal isn't to get them to be with me. My goal is to keep them from being with you.
Your time of destruction is coming to an end.
Why? Why?
Jesus, my son. The move of my spirit is powerful, and there is nothing you can do to stop it.
Oh, but I have. Over and over again. I have used so many to stop you.
Oh, so that's why my church no longer exists?
No, I did. I stopped what could have been. I think our little chat has come to an end.
Why do I feel so abandoned?
Silence does not mean that I am absent.
No one's coming. They've forgotten about you. You're just a number on a scroll. Even in the silence, I will wait on you. I can come out? Oh my goodness, so good. Oh my goodness.
I will never leave you.
One thing that we wanted to make sure, you very rarely do a trailer for a short film, but once we decided that we wanted to try to make this into a series, we wanted to make sure that people knew it existed, and so that's kind of why we made the trailer for the first one after the fact. We made, Shawn, I believe you did the trailer for the first one after the first film was already completed and out there. And
yeah, that's pretty common to do. I know on this one, on the Joseph and the Doctor, we did it before just to get people up to speed of what we're doing.
Exactly. And one of the other things that we wanted to cover was, I mentioned this in another interview, I couldn't figure out why we couldn't get traction or people getting the concept. And I told this to a friend of mine, and he said, well, Scott, people might not be interested in a show that's just about two guys talking at a table. And I'm like, wait a minute, you thought the whole series was going to be that? So with the second trailer that you saw there for Joseph and the Doctor, I said to Shawn, we got to make sure that the trailer shows people that the second one is not what the first one was, that it's not just me and Bob talking at a table, and it's more complex. There's extra characters in it as well. So.
Of course, okay, because it's about the whole human race, basically.
I don't know about the whole human race. It's the idea came from, I'm going on here a bit, I apologize.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I want to make sure I give Bob and Shawn a chance to weigh in on this as well. But basically, Joseph and the Doctor actually came from some stuff that I was going through during COVID.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I wanted to show to an audience, who maybe, where was God during COVID? And I'm like, okay, so who would be a good person to throw in between God and the devil, so to speak, and join in the conversation? And I'm like, well, if I want to get to the point quicker, we should go with somebody from the medical community, because they were staring COVID right in the face when it was happening. Yeah, and so we kind of came up with this, I kind of came up with this concept of God appearing to this doctor who was just an emotional wreck from COVID and taking her back to the story of Joseph in the coat of many colors, but not when he had his coat of many colors, during his time that he was in prison falsely accused.
Okay.
And kind of showing how sometimes, you go through trials to make you stronger. So that was the basic concept. That's the basic story, the nutshell of the storyline of the second one.
Okay. You guys want to weigh in on that? How about you, Bob? You haven't said anything in a while.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think when you watch Lucifer and the Father, you certainly see it's not just two guys sitting at a table. And that was the result of Shawn really coming up, I think, with a
Yes.
brilliant concept of me as God having the power to move us to multiple locations.
Hmm.
And so, whether you like the story or not, it's a great travelogue for Oregon because the
I know. I love
scenes
that. I love that scene with the waterfall.
the
That's
scenes
beautiful.
are
Leaves Niagara Falls in the
absolutely
dust. But go on.
absolutely beautiful, and that kept it moving.
Yes.
So that was really, I think that was probably a God thing that I'm not taking credit for as God. I think the real big guy
Yeah.
was working with Shawn to do that because that really helps make the film, I think, incredible. And then, of course, with the second one. I really like the fact that we have some multiple characters to interact with. I really like that part. And Oregon doesn't show up maybe quite as well, but I really like the interaction with the other characters. And I want to give credit to Scott and Shawn because they recruited these from Oregon, pretty close to where we filmed. And I couldn't have been more pleased with their performances.
Me either. That was great. And you guys are such professionals at what you do. Well, now that we're, a quick question, Scott. How religious are you anyway? You said you connected this to the church somehow. Your church.
I'm a born again Christian, so
You are?
we all are. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're what the world calls evangelicals. Although these days there are some people who don't like that word because of some of the political implications. But yeah, we're Christians. I go to the Nazarene Church in South
Okay.
Weymouth. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I watched the film, and I couldn't help but think it was sort of a parody, but in a way, only because I've been accosted by Christians who've told me that my soul was in big trouble, and it's and I'm always looking for signs that maybe I'm changed enough so that it's not, or that I'm doing something that God's more happy about than He was when I got accosted back on Halloween of 2009 in Salem. But that's a show for another day. So anytime somebody says something like it has to do with about religion around me, I think, well, is that supposed to be a message from God to me? In which the way God seems to send messages, obviously not directly, but since we're supposedly all kind of like interwoven into God's web somehow, we have to realize that He's going to send us messages in ways that He feels are going to be benevolent to Him.
Right. Well,
Right.
the fact that you're
Right.
asking the question is the good thing.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
address one quick thing that you said, and then I'll let Shawn chime in
Okay.
here. You said you wondered if it was a parody at first. I don't know, not a parody. I would call Lucifer and the Father an allegory because we don't think for 1 second that God and the devil look like me and Bob. We have to make that
I
crystal
know
clear.
that, right,
We have to
but
make that, well, you'd be surprised how many people in the faith community
Oh.
jump down our throats and say, God and the devil don't look like that. And I'm like, oh, if that's what you're getting out of this, then you're missing the whole point of what we're trying to do.
Okay.
So anyway, but
Yeah.
I thought you both.
Well, speaking of the whole point that
yeah,
we're
go
trying
on.
to do, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about people feel like, oh, those Christians are they're judgmental and they're telling me I'm going to hell. And what we really wanted to do in this is to help explain God's heart and for His creation and the desire to redeem mankind to Himself.
Okay.
And that's what the reconciler is about. And that's what the second one is about, to help the doctor in the story understand that, just because, you don't think God's right there, that doesn't mean that He's not and that He doesn't care.
Well, I got to tell you, that film, I found that film very, in a way, I found it kind of amusing, but I also found it kind of soothing too. Especially hearing what you're telling me now. Yeah, you want to weigh in a little on this, Bob, too?
Well, one of the things that I feel is that God is actually a father figure to Satan as well.
That's what I heard.
And I think you can see that in their interaction.
Yeah.
He's also not intimidated by him, so he kind of has a bit of a twinkle in his eye. But all of this was part of God's creation, and I think His love is universal. And not that He loves what Satan would do, but I think there is a connection there that comes through in the film, and they're totally on opposite positions. But God's not going to be intimidated, but He also I think has a bit of a kindness when he's
That's what I'm
interacting
hoping
with
for.
Satan as well.
Yeah, because obviously, based on what I've been told, that's what I need. I need a God that's caring, that really is caring, isn't just. I've read the Bible, and the Bible is not. I gotta say, the Bible is the most violent book I ever read. It really is, and when you think.
You're not wrong.
No, I know, and you think. And by the way, we're in the final 5 minutes. I hope you guys had a good time talking to me. I tried to make
Yeah.
try to get as much time talk time for all of you. But I just want to say that some of the sayings from God in the Bible, they don't seem loving to me. They seem very, very vindictful and punitive. That's all. Like, I am a proud God. You better not worship any other gods but me. And there are quotes like that in the Bible constantly. And then God says, "Thou shalt not kill," but then God seems to justify killing in certain situations a lot of times in the Bible. I'm just saying that's what I've read, and I read it the Bible I read. It's amazing. My parents are both kind of atheists, but my father had a Bible for his college study back in the 50s, and I still have it. And because I eventually I read it. It took me a few years to do it, but I just wanted to I just wanted to see if there was anything comforting in there, and I had a hard time finding anything.
Well, I will tell you, I believe though one of the things that it was important to separate a bit from the Old Testament and the New Testament, because when Christ came, he came for all of us and gave his life and died on the cross that we could be saved. So we're all sinners saved by the grace of Christ. So I think the New Testament has a much more of a different tone, and that's because Christ came to fulfill all of the prophets and all of the things, and he became God on earth.
Okay, I didn't get that from the New Testament. But
I actually asked my pastor about some of the stuff that you're talking about recently.
Okay.
And he said, it's kind of cliche, but Jesus was God's son. Some would say, you change once you have a child or once you're down here with us. And one thing that I've said, that you said you like the way that Bob played. I've repeated this in every interview that we've ever done. One of the reasons why I wanted him to be called the Father in the movie is because that's what God is first and foremost. He is the father of everybody who is on this planet.
Okay.
And so one of the reasons why Bob got the part is because he is a dad and he is a grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
And I said to him, if you ever have any trouble figuring out how to play God, play him as a father.
And he did it beautifully.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're in the last 3 minutes. What I want you guys to do in the remaining time is give some shouts out to people that are going to see the show, because a lot of people are if you want them, and then we'll wrap it up with the snapping. And then hopefully we can take a picture for Facebook, and I'll tag you guys. So you want to do that?
Well, that would be great. And of course, Scott can talk about our GoFundMe. And we would like to invite people to really become part of helping make this reality. Maybe not even for just this show, but for the series as well.
Right. We have more episodes written. Right now, we're trying to finish the second one, and we have a small chunk that we still have to make in order to pay the editor to finish it. You can go to our Facebook page, Lucifer and the Father, and there's links to the GoFundMe on there.
Okay.
If anybody wants to give.
You want to say something, Shawn? Anything?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about this and finishing it and getting on to the next part of the series to tell different stories. One thing just to add to that last conversation, ultimately Satan was the one who rebelled against God. And so if you're going to rebel against God, the biggest thing you're going to want to do is to corrupt what he made, corrupt his creation. And so that's a lot of what God gets mad about, and about humans basically, going, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good, when God intends his best for them. And that's hopefully what we were communicating, in the series.
Okay.
And we'd like to make more. We'd like to touch more people and get them thinking. And that's the biggest thing that we're doing with this, is just getting people going, huh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys did a great job. And I hope you had fun.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Thank you so much. And we
Thank you.
wish everyone a very happy and prosperous new year.
Yes. Yeah, and Merry Christmas and all that. All right, we're going to wrap the show up. You guys stick around, and my tech guy, Joe, will come in and take pics for us. And are you guys both on Facebook?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I want to connect with both of you on Facebook, because what I want to do is, once I get this picture up, I'm gonna tag Scott. You are too. That's
Yes,
how I
of
found you.
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure we're all connected, and then I want to tag all of you, and then you can tag me if you want as well. That be okay?
Sure.
Yes,
I love that.
Sounds good.
All right, we're going to wrap the show up, folks. I want you to have a great Christmas. We got one show left in 2025, I have a beautiful model coming up here from Connecticut next week, if all goes well, weather permitting. And snapping off and wrapping out. Okay. There we go. Oh.
You were doing this back in 2018 when I was here.
That's right. Sure was. I've been doing this since I started. 2010. 2010. 2010.